I'm telling you, just wait, look at the screen. No, look at the screen. Okay, come on, look at the screen. Don't be scared. Shh. Hang on, just the screen. Oh my God. Hang on. She's scared of the movies. Well, that's 100 minutes. So I went with a thermal on, thermal top. So I lose a little bit more. We're getting into the Texas heat. And looks like we got a visitor. Here it is, right here, no name or anything. So it's a project called Liaison Project of Tarrant County. I have no idea what it is. But now you see it right here. There's their number, right there. There's Kitty. He's just doing the lazy kitty. He's just doing the lazy kitty. Why don't you get up and play? Come on. Kitty. Don't be that way. Get up. Now dance around. Dance, kitty, dance. So Adam's on his way to New York, which I hope he gets a lot of New York City. Something to do with Newark. I'm not really understanding what he's trying to get in Newark, but we'll find out. He's going on a flight United, and he's drinking some kind of water or something. I don't know. I'm drinking mostly ginger tea that's free of calories. I'm trying to lay off most soda. I never take soda home with me, so I never get a 2-liter or 6-pack of soda. And that would be it. Once I kick the soda, then I'm gonna be, pretty much almost free of all habits. I don't take aspirin or Tylenol. My Coke Zero is, I mix Coke Zero with regular Coke, and that's a major flaw, but I only do that on the road for caffeine because I don't drink coffee. I don't mind coffee, I just get tired of it. I'm getting a haircut today. I'm just showing you how long it's been. Kind of like, it's not really Danzig. I think Danzig did it like this. Let me see how Danzig, mother, tell your children not to hang out with me. Tell your children not to. Danzig probably has, that song, Mother, is probably one of the best songs ever written. Even though they're kind of funny. Well, they're borderline punk. The song is, Mother, tell your children not to, is it Hang With Me? Tell your children not to. Oh, let's do it later. I used it for a movie I wrote called Deep on Ellen. It's about the punk rock generation in Dallas in the 1990s. There's a mosh pit sequence. Look at the back part of the hair. Right here. I'm just showing it because I'm cutting it all today. Let me get a reverse mirror. That's pretty long. That's about how long I got it when I was a skater. I did this earlier when I got out of the shower. I did that pretty much like this. Like all down like that. I've just been saving, like I've been just saying, well, no, I won't get a haircut, I'll save money. And I got kind of mad because that one of the officers, Banner, said he couldn't tell the difference on the phone if I was male or female. I don't know why he said that, so I deepened my voice like this. Or, can you tell I'm a male? Can you tell now? He was just being mean. So I reported him on Facebook. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. It's right here. Let's see if I can do this. This mirror is kind of... Mother, tell your children not to... All right, I always get stuck on lyrics sometimes. Oh, we might have a new singer too. I'm gonna meet up with her Guitar Center, maybe. She's older though. I think she's like in her 60s or something, but she wants to sing. She sent me an audition for Four Non Blondes, but I have to run it by Linda and let Linda know because she wants to meet Linda. And she does songwriting and she sings. Maybe backup singer or something like that. I just want to show the back part. Look at that. Can't really see it right there. Someone's got the blow dryer on. Let me kind of do this right here so you can see. Oh my goodness. I didn't know. I didn't know it was that bad. I mean, it was bothering me. That's why I'm getting it cut today. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That is pretty Kenny Powers. Let me take a look at that one more time. Just give me a second. I did not realize that is pretty Kenny Powers. Kenny Powers did a horror film. It was kind of a domestic horror film about a sociopath that kills his like wife and also it's like set in like, I don't know, like Nevada or something like. I think it's called Nevada. Kenny Powers, you know the real guy's name. But yeah, he basically did like this horror film about the sociopath in the desert, and he kills. I think he kills his wife. I think he kills his wife. I don't remember it really. He does all this weird stuff. He's like a real estate guy or something, or he gets involved. He kills a real estate person, and then he kidnaps this other lady, and then his wife shows up, the wife that left him. She shows up, and then he kills her. He goes on this killing spree. It's kind of a horror film. Anyway, Kenny Powers. This isn't really Kenny Powers. This is more like, I mean, I could get it layered and keep it long, but it's just a lot to deal with. And I ran out of, let's see. Yeah, I used some of this though. This is kind of cool right here. But I ran out of, you know what? I might have some right here. That's old school. This stuff's old school. I don't need that one. I need to get some conditioner. Nah, I got a little bit left on it, but I still need to get some though. All right, we're gonna get the haircut today. Here's Adam making a choice. I'm gonna help him out right here. Here he's making a choice. This is flight experience to New York City, United to New York, and taxi to, I don't know, let's look at the full title. Oh, he doesn't put full titles in descriptions. Just New York City, May. Okay, I see what he's too cool for that. I think if I go to my my phone, it might show, or at least a computer, it would show. It just says taxi to, and then the Daily Woo. So you see, he's pointing at what he thinks is the most unhealthy option. He's kind of right about the pie. But to lose weight, he would want to eat this, and maybe like half of that, and maybe like a quarter of this. Because this is protein, and you have to lose protein, meaning you have to go without protein to lose weight, or you will not lose weight. And this is probably a lot. It's quite a bit. If he ate this, maybe half of that, and he probably could eat the pie. He'd have a better chance at losing a little bit of weight. But when he combines all of it, especially all of this, he's not going to lose much weight. Now, he did find the calorie thing that was 5 calories, and that's good because it's a lower calorie. You want to lower the calories. I'd say this is probably 30 to 40 calories. This is probably 130 calories. And this is probably 200 to 300 calories maybe. So we're looking at 230. If you ate half or a portion of it or whatever, we'd say, what did I say this was again? Maybe 300. And then this is maybe like 330. So it'd be like 430. And then the pie, maybe like 500 to 600 calories maybe is what the whole thing. Then we don't know what he's drinking. I'm guessing the 500 calories total at the most. Maybe 600. I don't know how much this is right here though. It looks like quite a bit. This could be maybe 5.
500 calories. This could be, shoot, that can't be more than 40 or 50 calories. So 5 and then 550. Then the bread, you know, that brings it to 650 calories because the bread's probably 100 calories, maybe 200 calories. I can't tell on the dish. 200 calories, 500, that's 700. You got the extra snack, which is 800. This might be 800 calories, maybe. It just depends. Look at the plate, and you know, the hand and the plate. You don't know. I'd say between 500 to 800 calories if he gets seconds, and if he gets a calorie thing here at the most. But to lose that weight, he's got to go without this, because that protein will put the weight back on him. Good to go. All right, Adam, I'll tell you where we were. It was Peter, Chris, David, and I. We were all part of the New School University. I think Peter was from Amsterdam, and he was a business major. Chris was an actor. I was an actor. Blake Staples was an actor, too. Blake became a Hollywood, California stuntman in Hollywood. And then David was a lighting designer. And we all lived closer to this right here, which is the Empire State Building. So I'm trying to figure out where you are from this shot. But this is going to be closer to Broadway and closer to Park Avenue and things like that. So we were probably more on this side. You're looking right at the Chrysler Building, which is right here. And that looks like One World Trade, or what is known as the World Trade Center, but it may be this over here is probably the World Trade, even though that looks like it. You look like you might be in the uptown, downtown district, not too far from Wall Street, is what I'm looking at. You can see some of the reflection right here. Pretty cool. That's a cool view. You can see your hand right there. I'm trying to figure out if this is the One World Trade or if that is. But please do go up to the Freedom Tower and vlog the crap out of it, because I want to see it. One of my dreams is to come back and see the Freedom Tower. Of course, I'll be vlogging everything. I'm thinking you're in the uptown district, but we'll find out. So Adam has just stated that this is the Empire State Building, and he's wrong. That's the Chrysler Building. This is not One World Trade, although it looks like it could be. And the One World Trade would not be that close to the Chrysler Building. This is probably not One World Trade either. I know which way he's facing. But that is known as the Chrysler Building. Now, if it is the Empire State Building, I would be surprised. But I'm going to look in some mapping and look at some stuff and see if that is the Empire State Building. He's saying it is. But the Chrysler Building has very Art Deco. And it's very much, it's the #1 building that's mistaken as the Empire State Building. And I would see the Chrysler Building every day where I was more on this side. If you look in later of his shot over here, you can see the Empire State Building. I'll show you. I'll have to put it like this. That's the Chrysler. It's a Chrysler Building. He thinks it's the World Trade. I mean, he thinks it's the Empire State Building, but it's not. You'll be able to see. I'm looking straight down. Yeah, he's uptown, I think. It's kind of hard to do this. That's the Chrysler. That's the Chrysler Building. It's not the Empire State Building. Let me see if he shows it again. Because when he first approaches the window, you can see the Empire State Building. It looks similar to the Chrysler. Yep, right there. That's the Empire State Building. Now, if I'm wrong, then that would be the Chrysler and that would be the Empire State Building. But I'm sure that that's the Empire State Building because how it stacks like this. And there's an observation tower at the top, meaning you can walk around in a circle. The Chrysler Building has a very distinct Art Deco style that has Roman arches at the top. Let me see if I'm correct. Because I heard him say that was, when I first got there, I thought that was the Empire State Building too. When I first lived there. I'll show you right here. Yeah. The Empire State Building has a flat little section right here for the observation tower. The Chrysler Building does not. See how these have the arches? That makes it the Chrysler Building because of these arches right here. But I'm gonna double check. I'm sure that that's the Empire State Building. I double checked and I'm correct. That is the Chrysler Building. This is the Empire State Building. And Chris and I and Peter and David and Blake for a while, we all lived right down the road, right down the sidewalk from the Empire State Building. Right off of, and when I'm talking about actors, they're going to be the new Robert Duvall's, the new Dustin Hoffman, they're going to be the new Gene Hackmans, all those types. We were all in the same place. There were 4 guys living in the same place. One was business, one was a lighting designer, one was an actor, I was an actor, and Blake was an actor. There were 3 actors, 1 business guy, and then 1 lighting design. We were all right around over this area. But good try. That is not the Empire, that is the Chrysler. That is the Empire State Building. Now first, you got to figure out the East River and the Hudson, and I always say where the sun rises is going to be the East River. So the sun will come up over the East River, and then it'll set behind the Hudson River, and there it is. There it is. One World Trade. It's right there, the Freedom Tower. 1,776 feet in the air. I don't know if they include that antenna, but they did that on purpose. They made it 1776, and when I was there, when I lived there, it was 2. It was 2 World Trade Centers when I lived there. I lived there in 2001 through 2002. And that's what's been replaced. And they got that puppy up very quickly. Rumor is it has missiles on it and all kinds of stuff. It can shoot missiles at planes that try to come after it. But then that means, hopefully, the plane would go into the rivers, either it be the East or Hudson. He's looking from the Empire State Building, is where he's looking from, which is not the biggest building in New York City. But because Adam, and I appreciate this, Woo, he's there, I can show you where we lived. See this building right here? That's a famous triangle building right here. I used to walk by that building almost every day. We lived all the way down Broadway, down this way, right around here. It was 38 East 21st Street between Broadway and Park Avenue. Broadway is where all the theaters are. All your theaters are in Manhattan. Now they have a few in Brooklyn, they have a few in Bronx, they have a few in Queens and Jersey and Newark and all that stuff. But all the major theaters, the really ones, the big ones, the thriving one with actors, are right here in Manhattan. And this is Broadway right here. Now I could, if I'm wrong, then this is Broadway right here. But regardless if I'm wrong or right, we were probably around here. And there's a distinct water thing that was on top of, if he goes to 38 East or East 38 21st Street between Broadway and Park, that's Gramercy Park is where we lived. Winona Ryder was actually hiding there after her shoplifting incident. She was hiding in New York City when we were there. My friend saw Carrot Top walking around, the comedian, and all the actors and everything that were there, even from Sir Ian McKellen, Bruce Willis, Kevin Costner, Benicio del Toro, Johnny Depp, Ethan Hawke, Sissy Spacek, Deborah Winger, all of them, okay, all the actors that came that year. Benicio del Toro, all of those guys, they went all the way through in here, where a little bit before NYU, the New School University, and he might pass by it, that was the university I attended. And then NYU and Tisch and stuff is further back towards this area. When the World Trade Centers fell, I walked probably down this main road here and got pretty far, about maybe this close or so, and you could really smell the smoke and see everything. I was asked to get back to 12th Street, where Soho is, and in the NYU area. So when I returned back, and that was a Talk magazine reporter that asked me to go back because they had people there that knew that the buildings were going to fall because they were on fire for too long. And I had walked back from, I want to say, I always say John Street or something, but when I go back and look at the map, I don't really remember the exact street that I saw. But it was definitely, 12th Street is where I found safety. And they had everything blocked off with police barricades on 12th Street all the way around where the World Trade Centers fell. So it was on 12th Street, they blocked off. So you were not to go past 12th Street. Well, I had gone all the way through there before they got the barricades because the buildings were still on fire. They began to construct the barricades on 12th Street, which is right there by NYU. So when I came back from the World Trade, before it fell down, because I probably made it back just in time right before the buildings fell, I got to the NYU area and 12th Street when the first building had fallen, which someone had announced that on the street, on the sidewalk. I went back to my dorm. Well, first, I had already found out everything about the terrorism when I was in my dorm, which was given to us by the New School University, which is off of 38 21st Street. So I had already gotten down. This lady told me about it in the sidewalk. The first thing I did is I bought some peanut butter and I got water, but you couldn't buy things that day. Your card didn't work because all the systems went down. So I had to lift the peanut butter and the water, bring it back to my dorm room because I expected the end of the world. I thought all these buildings were going to be destroyed. I got back on the street. By the time I was on the street again on the sidewalk, the second building had fallen. The first time, I think, I'm going to look at this today around maybe 10 o'clock or around, I don't remember exactly the times. And then the second building had fallen, and we saw that one fall on a television in a store, like in a restaurant or something. You could see. I went back to the dorm room again and went to I was on the third floor of our dorm room, which was on 21st Street. I think I went to the fourth floor and a lady had a television, and I went into her room and watched the destruction of all, the clouds and everything, the cloud coming up, the smoke coming up. It looked like a cloud, but it was a billowing smoke cloud that had come up, and it was laying kind of like on part of the city. It took about 3 days or so for it to fall over the city. And all of this was covered in like foggy smoke. I made a phone call to my dad through a payphone that I had went outside in the smoke, and on one of these streets by Park Avenue, I made a phone call. My dad said they'll probably nuke Iraq. He thought Saddam Hussein had done it or someone like him. They were saying that, about that time they knew Al-Qaeda was involved. This is great though. So Adam really knows his show. He didn't do the whole elevator down from the Empire State Building. I probably would have. I would have shown the elevator ride all the way up and then all the way down. A lot of the bags on the side of, on the sidewalk are like this. They're clearly wrapped. Now, many of the restaurants will throw their bread away. So the whole bag would be basically bread. And they usually do it within the day. So at times when I get too hungry, we would puncture, or I would at least, puncture some of the bag and the bread, and then check to see if the bread was molded. If the bread was molded, then I didn't bother that bag. But if the bread was still somewhat fresh, I could still take it back and look inside of the bread and everything, and then put it like in some water and things like that. So if it was too crusty, I could still eat the bread. Because at times I was strapped in money. New York is very expensive. Now there was a place at the New School University where they threw away their bagels, lots of bagels. And those were fresh bagels, so they would just have to throw them away daily. Just like Einstein Bagels does and stuff like that. But French bread was mostly the stuff, and it would be outside of a restaurant. Now this, of course, I wouldn't have punctured any of this. This is mostly just non-perishable trash. But it was only the bread that I would sometimes snack on if I was way too hungry. And I only did that occasionally, maybe once every other week or something if I was completely out of money. Because sometimes I'd be strapped and my sugar level would start to get very low and I feel like I was going to pass out. But that's why he's showing this right here, which is pretty cool. A lot of the trash on New York City, the sidewalk, is wrapped in clear plastic bags. All right, kitty, we're going to get the haircut. I know you like laying in the big bed. It's like it's not enough room for him. Now, let me explain something to you. You're not going to get the room for the day. I know it's cozy and it's Tempur-Pedic. You're just not going to get the room for the day. You're going to be moved to the recliner in the living room in that direction. Do you understand? He's spoiled. I punished him a little bit because he dumped over his food bowl last night. So I punished him. I shouldn't have done it, but I poured some of the food bowl on him because I had to clean up his food bowl. He got some food on him. Didn't you, kitty? Look at that belly. Yeah, he gained a lot of weight. He was a very skinny kitty when we got him. He was a stray. But look at him now, yeah. And now he's just, I call him the well kitty, but I'm not going to anymore because we're going to get him back into shape. Let's do some sit-ups, okay? Ooh, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. Good job, kitty. Good job. Now let's do some squats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Very good squats. 7 and 8 and 9. And let's get a haircut. Okay, kitty. You can play in the whale shark tunnel. You can do the scratching post. Or you can play in your condo. But you can't go back there or in the other room. Got it? Got it. Well, I might as well just start revealing everything. When I was in my rideshare days, this was my business card. And it's got my information on it. I'd rather you not call me. But I know you can get my email. But this is what my business cards look like. And my film company is called Drive Film Productions of Texas. It's registered in Dallas. Pretty soon I'm going to start vlogging a lot of everything towards the end of summer because I'm going to be leaving for Hollywood to start my career as an actor. That's why a lot of the shows are called Actor's Life. So I'll be revealing more about myself because I need to make a lot of money. So what you're looking at right here is known as White Settlement, Texas. You can't see downtown because of, I guess you call it smog. You can kind of see it right there on certain days. But Fort Worth is about 1 million people. It's 967,000 or so, sometimes 970,000, but it's almost at 1 million. And Dallas is at 2 million, or really it's 1.5 million. This road right here is known as Western Hills, which is an interesting name for a road because our big competition when we were at Pascal during the time of theater and UIL was Western Hills, and we did a play called Look Homeward Angel, and they did a play called Look Homeward Angel almost at the same time. Western Hills they had their own drama teacher who he looked a lot like Brendan Fraser in The Well, maybe a little bit worse. He was morbidly obese, but he did do Look Homeward Angel. He's passed away by now. I'd be very surprised if he's alive. And then, of course, John Templin, who at the time when I knew him was openly gay. That was the time in the 90s. This is where the cop approached me, and that's Mary Kay. He approached me way down there at pretty much the top of that hill and started investigating me while I was actually what I call hiking, and wanted to know some things about a noise that sounded like a gunshot is all I really understood him. So I made several complaints, and I went ahead and posted my complaint on Facebook because I didn't understand what was going on. I just kind of hinted to him like, well, leave me alone, that kind of thing. I could have just maybe have done this, Fifth Amendment, but I tried to, tell him, well, it's probably the weights that I work out with. I have weights that I work out with. Now, down that way I could show you where we shot some segments of Bulb, but it's now a business. This wasn't a business at the time when we shot Bulb. It was like a furniture store or something like that. Now it's Beacon, and it's building products. Right here, Beacon Building Products. I have used his Pro Cuts before. It used to be the ones I used all the time. And we'll be going towards there really soon. Uh-oh. Here we go. There's Farmers. I didn't know they had a branch here because I use them. I don't really need to go in there though. Austin Driving School does get some attention. I think I may have tried to vlog them once. I don't remember. Ooh, they got some birds camping out right there. Okay. Try not to take too much of your time. They do accept WIC. Not driving school, but here they are. Student driving. These guys take forever. Yeah, they've got a steering wheel sometimes on both sides. I don't know how they do it. And brakes, they'll put brakes on both sides too. And I think even a gas pedal. And I've used them before. I used to go to the Subway all the time. But this is pretty much pro cuts right here.